So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session. I am Bhavesh from the SwiftEnterprise product management team, and I welcome you all for the SwiftEnterprise 9.0 release. Now, before we begin, I'd like to assure you that the webinar is being recorded. It will be shared with all those who have registered for the session. It will also be uploaded on our YouTube channel, Digite Inc., and we recommend you subscribe to our channel so that whenever we upload it, you will get a notification. Also, you will get notified every time we have webinars with industry best practitioners. So you get to know and learn from all the best practices that we usually recommend. Also, we would like to hear from you. So any questions or feedback, please feel free to share them with us from the Q&A section, which would probably be on the right-hand side of your screen. We will take up those questions, hear out your feedback towards the end of the session. So with that, let's get started. So the agenda for this session today is we want to go over all the new features and enhancements that have been shipped as part of our 9.0, which is our major release. So we have a lot of new features that are going to help you plan, track, and monitor your project progress much more effectively. On the planning front, what we have done is we have brought in a new user experience for our start module, which is our homegrown scheduling engine, and we have given it a major boost with Start Plus capabilities. Now, these are advanced capabilities which are generally seen in planning tools like Microsoft Project. So similar functionality has been introduced as part of the Start Plus module. We'll also have a look at those. On the analytics front, what we have done is we have been making enhancements to make it easier for you to navigate through the dashboards and make sure you are able to use them well enough. So we'll touch upon those, and we'll also look at how, as part of this release, we have given a complete freedom on how you can go about resizing your widgets so that you can lay them down in any manner depending upon the content each of those widgets has. Also, we have brought in the big number widgets so that the numbers that matter are standing out on your dashboard and easily looked at for any progress updates or any information that needs action. And finally, our new user experience has also been delivered as part of 9.0 release. So this is something wherein you would see a new navigation layout has been provided so that it's much more cleaner, simpler compared to what we had earlier. It is in line with the new UX standards. So we are sure it will make your life easier to get your job done while you are inside the application. And we have also made a whole lot of usability enhancements, especially on the work item listing, so that you are able to get to the required actions much more easily. So with that as our agenda, let's get started. First, we're going to talk about is Start Plus UI UX enhancements. Now, let me switch to the application and first show you what we had there. Now, as part of the Start module, what you could do is you could have a whole lot of tasks getting created and plan them out across various phases, practices, and activities. While it allowed you to do all that simple resource tracking, it also allowed you to do a whole lot more with the help of all the options which are available on the toolbar. Now, we understand that some of these options are disabled for the checked out mode, or while the project manager is working on it, or while it is being checked in, certain changes were not possible. Now, to simplify the overall user experience and to take away the visual clutter or the cognitive load that a typical project manager would have while using the application, we have done certain usability enhancements and UI enhancements so that it's much easier for the project manager to get the plan right. Now, this is how the new task plan would look like for your Start module. It's much more easy on the eye, it's much more readable, and also we have gotten rid of the UI clutter on the top where a whole lot of options were available. Now, all those options are neatly organized under the overflow menu. So depending upon the kind of actions you are wanting to perform, they have been grouped together, and you will also be able to make changes accordingly. while I was saying this is just the UI enhancements, but the overall experience has also been taken care of in the minutest detail. So for example, we understand task planning would have several such tasks. At the same time, we didn't want to compromise on the overall readability of all the tasks. So what we have given a couple of options on how you can narrow down on the specific task that you would like to work on. So first up, if you are wanting to have more set of tasks being shown without having to scroll through them, you can switch to the dense view. So that's available here, and you would be able to see a slightly more compact version of the entire task plan. Now, coming to narrowing down on the task that you would like to work upon, if you are someone who would like to look at only your task out of all the tasks that are part of the plan, you can use your My Task filter. You can also look at just the milestones by selecting the milestone, and it will only present you the milestones there. Similarly, you can switch to the current or any of the baselines that have been stored for your task plan. So what it would do is it will show you all the baseline information without having to go through other views or other columns. So your baseline start, finish, effort, cost, duration, all that information as part of the task listing itself. Also, if we are continuing with our outline level classification, which helps you jump to the specific summary level task or phase without having to go through the entire list. So this is how one can make use of these filters. These filters are available always on the top, so it's easy for you to go through them quickly. While these are the filters which are available to help you work with the task list, we have also enhanced the Gantt view. Now, the overall UI or the look and feel has been improved upon. And we have also given a toast notification so that you are aware that there are certain right-click options available here that will help you choose between a monthly view, quarterly view, yearly view, or toggle the grid lines, or jump to the current day. So all those options are available as part of the Gantt view as well. And just like earlier, you would be able to see the task assignments, the dependencies, and the milestones which are part of your task plan. So that information continues to be available as earlier. At the same time, what we have also done is we have provided a new assignment panel which has much more details than what you had earlier. So as part of this assignment panel, not just the resource name, plan start, finish, effort, and percent units are available, but you also get to see the percentage work complete status and the actual dates and effort and remaining effort along with it. So you do not have to go through the task details view in order to fetch all this information. All this information is presented as part of the resource assignments section itself. And if you have added any baseline level attributes, those two will be available as part of the assignment panel. So all that information that you would typically get after you are inside the task details view for your assignments, we have tried to bring in all of it here. So these are the couple of ways in which the overall visualization of the task plan and overall usability has been improved. Of course, all the actions, as I was saying, only the actions which are available to the project manager, they are presented. The ones which are not applicable, they are not presented in a disabled or a hidden manner. So that takes care of the cognitive load that it had with all those options being presented right up front. So you have a limited set of actions which are available in the checked out or the checked in mode. We have also given keyboard shortcuts so that it's much more easier for you to get the job done. So this is how the overall UI and the overall experience, I would say, has been improved for the start task plans that you have right now. But there are a whole set of new advanced scheduling capabilities as well that we have introduced under the Start Plus module. These advanced scheduling capabilities, as I said, they are very much similar to what you would find in Microsoft Project, and we will go over them one by one. So first up, the type of task classification. So for any of your tasks that are present here in the drop-down, you get to see the 3 new task types that have been introduced. So fixed units, fixed duration, fixed work, and fixed stage. So fixed stage was something which we have always had as part of our start module. This is where none of the changes are done automatically by the scheduling engine unless a change has been triggered by the project manager explicitly. So that ensured you had complete control over all the planned dates for your tasks. However, there are times you would want to make use of the fixed units, fixed duration, and fixed work kind of task types as well. So, for example, let me just quickly show you how these would work. So for that, let me also enable the assignments panel. So what I would do is, let's say I've selected a task here, and let me also have a couple of resources here. Now this is a fixed unit task, and just as always, if there has been a change to any of the field values, it will continue to be indicated with this red arrow on the top, and any changes to the effort will be transferred to the assignments automatically. So right now, it told us this up to 32 hours. If I change it to 40, the extra effort gets equally distributed to both my assignments. And the important thing to note, since this is a fixed unit kind of a task, both my assignments will continue to have 100% units always. There is no change to the percent units since this is a fixed unit kind of a task. What it would do is it will change the duration. As you saw, this date changed to 6th of October to accommodate the extra effort. So this is how it would work for, say, a fixed unit task. For fixed duration one, so here too, I can probably change the effort here and change it to say 20. Now in this case, what has happened, since this is a fixed duration one, my dates remain constant. My plan finish doesn't change. It has been accommodated by change of the percent units of the assignment. So this is how it would work for a fixed duration kind of a task. Let me now show you how it would work for fixed work. Yeah. So for fixed work, again, let me have few resources assigned here. So I had 24 hours of effort, and if in case I'm wanting to change this, let me say change it to 30. Now, what I'll do here is I'll increase the planned finish of my task. Let's say I extend it to 5th. Rather, I'll do it at the task level itself so that change is more apparent. So if I change it to Friday here and make that change, you will notice that the planned effort remains same to 30 hours. What has also happened is that my overall percent units has also remained the same. There is no change to effort. There is no change depending upon the change of the dates I had done to it, unlike your fixed units task type. So this at a very high level, how different kinds of tasks would behave. As I said, these are concepts that are mostly drawn from how it would typically work in Microsoft project. It is very much similar to them. So a good understanding of these concepts will come in handy. Of course, we have our online help that will help you understand these better in how change of a task type would affect your task planning or scheduling in general. So moving on, our next capability is constraints. Now, as part of the constraints, what you could typically do is you could decide what kind of constraints you would want to set on a task. So let me go to another task here, say, right? So the default constraint type would be as soon as possible, but now we have given another 6 options as part of the constraint type. So must start on, must finish on, start no earlier, start no later, finish no earlier, and finish no later. So let me just select must start on, and since I have selected must start on, what it would do is copy the start date, the planned start date of the into the constraint date. Now the task now must start on 19th of October. That is how I have scheduled it to be. Now, if I go ahead and make changes, let's say these are the 2 tasks I wanted to have. Both are starting on 19th of October, and I want to have a finish to start dependency between them. So what I would do is say 27 FS. And the moment I've made such a change, which is going to violate my constraints, it will throw up this alert so that the project manager understands that it is going to violate the constraint. Would you like to continue with it, or would you like to go back or reverse this action? So if I say continue, what it would do is it will keep the constraint date, and it will highlight that my constraint is being violated because of the way I have scheduled it. So that is what is being done to highlight in case your constraints are getting violated depending upon your schedule changes. Uh, of course, this is just one of the scenarios that I'm demonstrating right now, but there are many more. So this is about the constraints. What you also noticed here is that we have started supporting different kinds of dependencies between tasks. So just like 27 FS represented our finish to start dependency, which we had as part of a start module, we are now supporting finish to start, finish to finish, start to finish, and start to start kind of dependencies as well. So if I put SS as my abbreviation for my predecessor, what it would do is it would reset the date to 19th of October. So that's how I would have my different kinds of dependencies set through the predecessor attribute on my tasks. So these are the four main capabilities that are going to help you plan for different kinds of tasks, different kinds of scheduling scenarios that you would want to ensure are helping you. But one important feature that we have also given is of critical path tracking. Now, critical path tracking, to put it at a very high level, it allows you to know if there is a change to any of the tasks that is going to affect your overall plan finish of the entire task plan. In those scenarios, you will be getting delayed. So which are those tasks, if their plan finish is pushed further, are going to end up the overall task plan finish date as well. Let me just close the resource assignment panel here first and enable the critical path view. Right. So with this, if any of these tasks are going to get delayed, they are surely going to affect your overall task plan finish date as well. So those are the critical path tasks that you would want to keep an eye on and ensure they are not getting delayed. So these are the tasks which are getting highlighted as part of your task listing itself. If you go to your Gantt view also, right, so your critical path task will also be highlighted as part of the Gantt visualization. If you want to have a much more detailed version, you can always slide it up and look at all the tasks as part of the Gantt view itself, or you can toggle off and look at only the list view. So this is how the overall task planning has been enhanced as part of this release. So to quickly summarize what we looked at, as part of the new start experience, there are a whole new set of views and filters that are being made available. All the actions and the panels have been grouped together for easy accessibility, and the Gantt visualization along with the resource panel which has been enhanced so that you get more insight into all these task details and assignments. And along with it, what we have also done is we have introduced all the Start Plus capabilities, which will help you do advanced level of planning. So be it new task types, new task constraints, new task dependencies, critical path tracking, all these are available as part of the Start Plus. And it also comes up with all the usability enhancements, which we just went over. So all this is going to make easier and much more comprehensive for you to be able to build a task plan the way you would want with the use of these advanced scheduling techniques. Now, Start Plus capabilities are currently in beta mode. We will surely graduate them in the near future to a GA, but you can certainly try these out. And if you would like to try them out, please reach out to your account so that they will enable it for you. Just a note on that, whenever you enable the Start Plus module with the help of our support team, there are some changes that you would experience as part of it. So certain fields will be visible, like the task type, constraint dates, type, task mode. Certain fields will become editable. So we saw that the planned effort has become editable for all the task types. Up until now, the planned effort was being driven from the resource assignments, but now it will be also editable or can be set at the task level itself. Similarly, some of the fields will be non-editable in the checked-in mode because these fields are going to drive the overall scheduling. Also, if you're using Start Plus and also making use of our REST APIs or Swift Reports Run API, those are currently not available. And finally, for the milestone task, also we have ensured that they are zero duration tasks, and you would not be able to assign resources. In case you have already assigned resources on your milestone task, they will continue as is, but going forward, you wouldn't be able to assign resources. Now, this is just a quick summary of all the functional changes that are part of the Start Plus module. A much more detailed version is available as part of our What's New, as part of our release notes. So please make sure you go over them before you enable it. So with that, let me move on. The analytics front, what we had earlier, just to highlight what we used to have as part of the previous ways of navigation in dashboard. So earlier you had a widget map on the left that helped you navigate or jump to the widget on the page directly without having to scroll through it. Now, while this was a handy feature, it had certain limitations. You weren't able to see the name of the widget up front, and also it used to take up some space, which is very much required if you're wanting to utilize as much as possible to represent your dashboard with. So as part of our overall revamp, what we had done is we have provided a new way of navigation into the pages. So your menu itself will have all the page as well as widget level navigation. Along with it, we also provided a way to uh, skip through the dashboard overview page. So up until now, whenever you navigated to a dashboard, it first presented you with all the dashboard pages, and then you had to click through the required dashboard page to view its widgets. So if you are wanting to avoid that step, we have given a toggle on top. So you can say that you do not wish to see the overview page. And for that, you just need to simply select one of the pages as the default pages. So you will be taken to that page directly every time the dashboard is being loaded. So as I was saying, the navigation has also been changed. So right now, the left widget map or page map has been removed, and you can jump to the required page as well as the widget directly from this menu itself. So there's a single way to navigate to your required dashboard page and widget. So for now, let me go to defect status and select a widget here. Prior to this release, we had a set number of dashboard widget sizes. You could have a small, a medium, and a large size widget. While it served the purpose well to see chart visualizations, but we also saw that many of our dashboard widgets, especially pivot widgets, are being used to see tabular information as well. Now, with tabular information where there are varying number of rows and columns, it becomes all the more important that you have complete control over the height and the width of the widget as well. So as part of this release, we have let go of those three standard widget sizes. The option to view it in a carousel mode still remains on the top, and you can resize the widget as per the needs. I have a tabular widget. If I can increase the length of this widget, I can also increase the height or decrease the height of the widget as per the need. And I can set it so that it aligns well with my rest of the widgets. I can have a different kind of brick style layout depending upon what kind of data is being shown here. So that is going to open up and allow you to have different dashboard layouts. Along with it, what we have also introduced here is a different kind of representation for your big number widgets. So these are there are certain times that you would want important numbers to stand out on your dashboard. So that's when you could use this tile chart representation. So for that, what we have done is as part of your pivot widget settings, you would have two new options, tile and dial chart. And let me just quickly show you the table here. I have a couple of critical priority defects that I need to see. What I've also done is I have added a date identified column, but as you can see, it doesn't matter how many columns or how many rows I have as part of the table. It will always represent the totals value, irrespective of the number of columns and rows I have as part of the table visualization. So you need not worry about trying to ensure that only one data value is being available. You could have more information and we'll quickly pick up the totals value to show in the tile. And as part of the tile visualization also, we have given a couple of options. First up, we have given a way to specify the unit of measurement. It could be days, it could be a work item type, any other information that would define the unit of the number which is being shown here. In this case, I'm looking at the number of defects that have come in this week. So I've put it as defects. You could have a single color indicator. Since I have filtered upon critical priority defects, I do not need to have conditions here. So I've simply selected one of the colors for critical. I could make it condition based as well. So all those options are available, and for each of these conditions, you can go ahead and set up a number. So since I have laid out the number of defects that have come in this week based on the priority, I have just set one color for each. So this big number representation comes in handy for that. However, if you're wanting to have the perspective of how the overall range is compared to the actual value, you could make use of the dial chart representation also. So as I was saying, if I'm looking at the number of critical defects that have come in this week, I can select the dial chart representation. I could say that a good number is less than 4. If it's between 4 to 8, it's an amber, and anything above 8 needs my attention. So that's my range and color that I have defined for my dial chart. So I get to know that if my number of defects that have come in this week is greater than 8, it's neatly represented as part of my defects here as well. Now, this is one of the visualizations that you could have. Let me just go to the change request analytics. So if in case you are having a long label for your tiles, you could still do that. While the height is going to be restricted for a tile, because we want it to be a tile visualization, you can play around with the width depending upon how much text you want to put in on the top and at the bottom. So any big numbers will also be well represented as part of a longer rectangular kind of a tile here. This will come in handy, as I said, if you are having different kinds of conditions or different big numbers that need to be seen on the dashboard. And as I said, you could have a different brick style kind of layout here as well. So I have 4 widgets on the top, 3 in between, and a couple of them at the bottom. So I can play around with the layout. Complete freedom has been given there. Just like we showed you for the dial chart representation, it is not just the number of items that you could also represent any kind of number. So in this case, I'm looking at the overall % progress, which has happened for my one of the themes. So I can decide on the range of the colors and have it represented as part of my dial chart. So it's completely up to you how you would like to make use of this tile and dial chart visualizations. They are completely open-ended and will help you represent data in the most appropriate manner. So just to quickly recap, we looked at how the dashboard widgets can be resized both in terms of the height and the width. We also looked at how the tile chart can be set up, the dial chart can be set up. You can define a range and specific colors for each of those ranges so that the actual value is shown with the overall range perspective. So that was with respect to the analytics. And finally, let me switch back to the application and show you how it's going to work for the new application UI that we have introduced as part of the 9.0. We have introduced a toggle on the top. So this is not something which will get pushed to all the users, that all the new users have to use a new UI. We have ensured that it is up to the end user whether they are comfortable using the new UI or not. Every time they decide to switch to it, alert would come that in case you have any unsafe changes, they will not be retained. Now, what you had earlier was a top navigation that allowed you to pass through all the workspaces, and the second level navigation, which allowed you to pass through all the different modules and features which are part of that workspace. So in this case, it's my project workspace, so all the menus and individual features are seen here. Now, the workspace based navigation has been moved to the left panel. So you would get to see the home option, the recent projects, workspaces, ability to go to any of the other workspaces, and any favorites. All those are being maintained on the left. Same applies for our help menu. So you will get to see all these options on the left panel. What you would also get is a new way of navigating within that workspace as well. So the breadcrumb has been graduated into a menu itself. It will not only help you understand where you are in the inside the workspace, but it will also help you navigate to other areas of that workspace. So in this case, I can hover over the name of the project, and I get to see the menus which are part of each of these modules. I could also hover over the secondary menu here to go to the corresponding menus which are part of my module here. Or if you want to switch across the module, you would hover over the main project name here itself. So this is how the navigation has changed as part of the overall layout. What is also being given, let me just switch to a listing view as well. So what we have also done is the work item listing bar has also been revamped, just like you saw for our start task plan. We have kept the filters directly accessible upfront. So any of your filters, be it your personal or global filters, will be enlisted here. The ability to edit them or create a new filter is available here itself. The same option to toggle between all the work items or the items on which you are assigned will be visible here. So this also comes in handy, just like for your task plan, so that you can just look at the work items that have been assigned to you. Along with it, the primary actions are available upfront. So add, export, and import, these three actions are available upfront, but along with it, under the overflow menu, you will get to see the other options that are typically available. So here too, all the options have been neatly laid out and along with the labels, so that it's much more easier on the understand and make use of. Another option that we have given, if you are one of the advanced users and you are now very much familiar with how the application works, you can decide to switch off or toggle off the labels. What that would do is, even if the left panel was selected earlier, it will continue to be visible in an icon-based manner, and here too the icons will be shown without the labels. So this gives you a much more cleaner layout on how to go about it. Of course, this gives us the advantage of much more realistic to have our dashboards or any of our planning capabilities being shown effectively. So this is how the overall navigation has changed. Again, this is something which is currently in beta stage, so we would request you to give it a try. Also, if you are going to switch back to the old version, you have been prompted for feedback, whether you liked it or you would want to try it later, whether it was appealing or not, or you could also share your thoughts on what could have been made better. So please make sure you fill in this information. This will help us gather the feedback and improve upon it in the future releases. So as part of the new user experience, we have mainly revamped the primary navigation, we have revamped the secondary navigation, and we have reorganized the listing toolbar. So this is, in essence, what we are doing to make sure we are with the new UI UX standards and continue to get a more modern experience overall. This is just the beginning, I would say. There are many more changes that will be done on the UI UX front to make it much more easier on the eye, as well as in terms of overall experience for you to go about using our application to get the job done. All right, so that's all we had for the session today. In case there are any more questions or feedback that you would like to share with us, please feel free to reach out to us via our support channels, and we'll certainly get back to you on them. Thank you for joining in.